Hey everyone, Carlton here, and I'm doing a short vlog here because I have the Osmo Pocket right next to the Osmo Action, Osmo Action 5, Osmo Pocket 3 obviously, and I'm just testing it out. Let's see comparison. I'm inside my office in my basement, and I have a one light shining on me, and I have the Osmo Pocket set to ISO 100 to 1600, and that's I always keep it on that. I don't ever leave it off of that. Maybe I should test it out at higher ISOs. I think I did test it out, didn't really like it, but I think I'm gonna do another test of over like 3200 and 6400 ISO and see what it looks like. But I love 1600. It looks amazing. And then I have Osmo Action is set from 100 to 3200 just to match the Osmo Pocket, because the Osmo Pocket has a f2.0 lens and Osmo Action I believe has a f2.8. So that means the Osmo Pocket lets in more light, and the Osmo Pocket has a bigger sensor. It has a 1 inch sensor, and the Osmo Action has a smaller sensor, 1/8 sensor, something like that. It's smaller than. So the Osmo Pocket has an advantage when it comes to low light. If lighting is all the same, then there's no advantage. They both shoot pretty well. Now I'm shooting in D-Log, and I'm looking at the image on the screen, and the one on the Osmo Action looks a little bit more saturated, and the one on the Osmo Pocket looks like D-Log. It looks pretty desaturated. But I know that once I take it out the camera, I know it's gonna look desaturated on the Osmo Action. I just don't know why. I'm looking at the front screen. The front screen looks like the LUT is already baked in, which I know it's not, because I set it to D-Log and I turned off the monitoring log option, which is great on the Osmo Action. That way you could actually see what you're gonna get when you're shooting D-Log on the screen. And the Osmo Pocket, I just looked. I didn't see that option. Or maybe I messed up. Maybe I was looking in the wrong place. Maybe I messed up. I'm gonna check it again. But I can find it in the menu, but it's not supposed to be in the menu. It's in the when you change the log, it should be right there. But anyway, I'll let you know. I'll put a note on the screen if I find it once I stop this video. Let me turn off the Osmo Pocket, and I'll check right now because I already have the Osmo Action running. So let me check this right now. I just realized I did not have my sharpness and noise reduction down. I thought I did on the Osmo Pocket. So bad news is that the Osmo Pocket does not have an option to monitor so we can see what the LUT looks like while you're shooting. So that's an advantage to the Osmo Action, because it does have that, which is very good. The Osmo Pocket doesn't have it. So I just set everything to -1 on image adjustment, sharpness, and noise reduction. And I mean, I liked how it looked at 0 at default. I liked it. So, but I'm comparing these cameras, and I know the Osmo Action has it set to -1. I set it like that. So I'm just checking this out here. Yeah, does not have the option. Okay, so let's start back the recording right now. Hey everyone, future me here again. Testing out the Osmo Action and the Osmo Pocket side by side. I was looking at the footage in the editing app, DaVinci Resolve, and Osmo Action seemed to be more saturated. And as I said before, I'm looking at the screen here, and it seems that the D-Log has some kind of baked-in saturation in it. In the Osmo Action. In the Osmo Pocket, it looks like what D-Log should look like. Very desaturated, and Osmo Action is different. I'm surprised that DJI make both these cameras, and I would think that they would make them to match, right? They both are in the Osmo line, but apparently they seem to be different. They seem to be reading the white balance differently. So I was doing some tests, and the white balance on the Osmo Action is approximately 3K more than the Osmo Pocket. So I'm being lit by a light here that's supposed to be 56K, balance of 56K. Now this light could be maybe a couple K off, right? Can't be 100% accurate, but both cameras are being lit by the same light from the same distance, and there's no other lights on. I turned off my backlight that I had, the purple one, and I closed my computer screen because I didn't want anything to be cast in a shadow. And yet still I'm seeing that the Osmo Action, even while looking at it, there is more saturation on the screen. And when I pull it up in post on the computer, without even applying the LUT, I can still see that the Osmo Action looks different, more saturation than the Osmo Pocket. Could possibly be a bug, because D-log footage should not have any saturation, so the Osmo Pocket seems more accurate, and that's causing these two cameras not to match. I mean, you're still going to be able to match them in post, but you're going to have to adjust the saturation of one of these cameras, either boost the Pocket 3 or decrease the saturation of the Action 5. So that's just some thoughts. I thought this was going to be a very short video when I started creating it. So like, let me get a quick video out there, a quick tip, and this has turned into hours and hours, because I'm kind of a stickler, testing out stuff, and if you see value in the stuff that I'm doing, if you're getting anything from this, don't forget to like the channel and help out this small channel, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is this is on auto white balance. I'm going to manually set the balance to the same thing. I'm going to see if I'm having the same problem. Because if I manually set it, I'm having the same color variation in the cameras, it means that there's a bug in one of these cameras, more than likely in the Action camera. Or maybe that's how it was designed, but it definitely not matching perfectly with the Osmo Action when you put them side by side. So let me go test that out right now. Okay, so this is my second test, and this one I set the white balance manually, both to 56K, because this light is at 56K, so I want everything to match. So this is going to tell us exactly what's happening, because if the white balance is manually set and everything is set the same, then if the image still looks differently, then it has to do with the software, right? That's baked into the camera. So the D-log on the Action camera is not rendering the image, like how D-log should look, which is to be desaturated. So we're gonna see. I suspect it's probably something with how the camera was designed, and maybe that's how they meant for it to be. But I'm just surprised they didn't design it that it will match the Osmo Pocket, or they didn't design the Pocket to match the Action, because people could be buying these cameras to use them in tandem, and if they look differently, then that's not good. That means it's more work for the consumer to do in post-production, and that's not good. But at least there is a workaround. You just got to do more work in post to match the cameras perfectly. And it's not a lot of work, but still, I mean, who wants to be going and fine-tuning the color to match when it's from the same company and it's the same Osmo type of line. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of a disappointment for me because, I wanted everything to match. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to match a Sony with a Canon camera with another brand. I'm trying to match the same brand, same Osmo type of line, and then they don't seem to be matching. But we'll see. Once I put it up on the computer, I'm gonna see if there's any changes, positively or negatively, with this manually setting the white balance. So that's it for this segment. I'm gonna be splicing the video I just did before and this video into the one I did earlier, so you can get more information. I really didn't want to make this video too long, but it turned out to be longer than I anticipated, probably about 20 minutes. So I hope you guys appreciate the time I take to do these tests, so that you would get more information in case you already have the camera and you're considering buying one or the other. If you already have the camera and you want to learn more about it, or if you don't have the camera and you want to buy them and you want to consider which one you should buy. Okay, let's carry on with the video. Okay, so we're back on. What do you think? So I was surprised about the stabilization of the Osmo Action. I'm still surprised by it. It's pretty good. I think it's, in my opinion, it's better than the Osmo Pocket. Like when I'm moving around the camera, it's very, very smooth. But with the Osmo Pocket gimbal, it's very small, and you got to move very, very slow. And even though moving slow is good, right? You want that smooth, buttery slowness. But I just find that the Osmo Action is more forgiving when you're moving than the Osmo Pocket. So I'm really, really liking the Osmo Action. Besides it being more durable, there's other features that I'm really, really liking. And then I did a vlog, the one I did in Philadelphia, comparing them part 1 and part 2. And I thought the audio straight out of the Osmo Action was better than the Osmo Pocket. Now, the Osmo Pocket wasn't bad. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying the one, the Osmo Action, was better to my ear. So let me know what you think. Which one sounds better? I'm going to be splicing between these two audio to see, so you would know. I'll put it on the screen to see which one is which. So you tell me which one you like the best. And then I had to, in order to get my Osmo Action to get more of a cropped in image, because it's so wide by default, even if you go to the de-warped one, it's still wide. So I went all the way down to the horizontal, the first one, horizontal level, right? And that one actually crops in, which I liked because sometimes I don't want to shoot wide. Like for this shot right here, in this talking head, I don't want to shoot wide. I just want, chest up, and that's it. I don't need for the whole room to be seen. So that's an advantage and disadvantage, or maybe an advantage, because we have an option to be wide, and then we have an option to crop in without losing quality. I don't think it's going to lose quality. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think it's going to. So I really like that. And I just found out that the Osmo Action has a zoom in feature. I didn't even know it could zoom, but I'm going to have to test it out in another video. So right now the screen says 1x, so I don't know if that, I'm going to do some tests, but it's on horizontal level and it zoomed in the picture, and I like that. Let me see what else. And I mean, just check out the exposure. How does each camera look? Which one do you prefer? I have them both on -1 sharpness, because I just changed the Osmo Pocket to that. -1 for sharpness and noise reduction. Well, shouldn't be any noise reduction because I'm not really, there's a light. No, it's not really a real dark situation. So over the weekend, I shot. June has been busy, but I shot on Saturday. I shot a bar mitzvah, so I shot the ceremony around 12 p.m. And I'm switching between looking at either screen, right? So if you see me looking off, that's why. So I shot a bar mitzvah around 12 p.m. and that was just a ceremony. So I was up in the balcony and I shot it on my two Sony A7S Mark III. So I'm about to shoot a bar mitzvah in a synagogue. This is a ceremony, and I'm shooting with my Sony A7S Mark III, and I got a second one right here. Shooting at 24 frames, and just using some behind the scenes here with the Action 5 Pro, and I did some B-roll about 10 minutes ago with the Osmo Pocket 3. So let's see how everything turns out. It should turn out good because I already tested out all the settings. So I'm gonna post this footage and hope you guys let me know what you think about it, and like and subscribe, because I was pretty far away and these cameras would not work that far away because then the people will look very tiny, because these cameras it's already wide, and so they wouldn't work in that situation. And that's why you need to have, if you're a videographer, you need to have different tools in the box, right? So that whatever situation arises, you have the tool to use for it. Sometimes I need a very small camera, and my Sony cameras are just too big. They're not going to work. So I just grab the Action or the Pocket, and then I use it for that. So I'm just so happy that these tiny cameras have come a long way, that they're giving us quality that we can actually use professionally. Obviously, they got the limitations, right? But every single camera has limitations. Everyone, even Sony cameras, Canon cameras, all the other brands, every camera. There's no perfect camera out there, So if there was, everybody would be buying it, right? But these small cameras, man, they're just amazing. And I was checking out Luis. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Is a Latino guy, and he does. He just shot a wedding using the Osmo Action, and I could relate because I'm using this Osmo Action. I shot a wedding on Sunday, which was yesterday, with the Osmo Action and the Osmo Pocket. But in all honesty, I would never be using these cameras by themselves, like just to shoot a wedding just with these cameras. It would be very difficult because everything would be basically wide. Because remember, when you're shooting an event, you're not shooting it by yourself. You're shooting it with a photographer. So you're at the mercy of where the photographer is going to stand. So if a photographer is using an 85 or a 70 to 200 and they're all the way back, I mean, what kind of shot you're going to get? You're going to have to be running in and running out and running in. Yeah, it's going to be weird. And if there's a tight timeline, the photographer is going to get annoyed with you, basically. So that's why in these cameras, they're going to be very difficult. If you're by yourself, yeah, you can do it, because then you could be right close to the person if you want to close up, or you could step back if you want wide, right? But I've shot a ton of weddings, and there's always a photographer. And the photographer is the main person. Let's keep it real. Photographers are the main vendors. That's who the bride and groom are excited to see. So we're just add-ons, basically. Obviously, once they get the video and they see how amazing it is, then they're like, wow, right? But before that, they're just thinking about the photos. So the photos are the main people. So, but I like working with photographers and everything, but that's just very difficult. I know Lewis did it, and I'm sure he had his challenges. Some of his, he probably didn't share 100%. I'm sure there's a lot of different things he could talk about more, about shooting a wedding on these cameras. And he shot it on just one camera. That was crazy. Just having one camera, that's hard, because if something goes wrong, if somebody bumps into you and the camera shakes, then that part of the footage is not usable. So that's why I always shoot with 6 5, 6 cameras usually when I'm shooting. So it doesn't matter what happened with one camera, I always have another shot, another angle, or something. So that's just how I shoot, just to cover myself and to get different perspective, different angles, and that works. So shooting, even if I was using my mirrorless camera, I definitely would never shoot a wedding with one camera. And then I did, after the ceremony, the bar mitzvah on Saturday, I went to the party, and wow, the venue was very nice. Everything was set up really good, and yeah, I tested out both cameras. Well, I already know what I'm getting from the Pocket, and I like what I'm getting. And the Osmo Action is the one I'm still testing out, and so far, I really like what I'm getting also. So I'm so excited about these cameras, and I'm gonna be using them a lot. These are gonna be my staple in my bag, and in all honesty, they get me a little bit more excited about shooting. So I'm looking here, and this video is already going up to 15 minutes, and I didn't want it to be this long, because right now I'm actually creating a video of a gig log of the bar mitzvah to show you guys shots of the Sony cameras, comparing them with shots of the Osmo Pocket and Osmo Action. And I also want to do another gig log for the wedding I did yesterday, showing you the footage. I actually shot the Osmo Action on ISO 6400, and I want to show you that footage so you can see if you like it or not. 6400 and 3200 also. So that's what I'm actually wanting to do. I just say, let me make a short video, just comparing these cameras alongside each other. They're right next to each other, right next, and the lens are all lined up. Everything is lined up, so you can get an idea of. The only thing I had to do is use the horizontal level to get the Osmo Action to crop in even more than it usually is, and that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of what they look like, the sharpness, the colors. This is D-Log, and I really like D-Log. It's amazing. I can't complain. And that's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to be releasing a lot of gig logs, a lot of reviews, and I'm always going to have the Osmo Pocket and Action featured on all my videos, because I love these cameras so much. And remember that I'm not sponsored in any way by any company. So everything I say is all my own personal experience from using these cameras. And that's basically it. So if you get any value out of this video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye.